All right. Just me and my purple iPhone. There we go. Hey there, Emmy. How's it going? Okay. Nice. Perfect. I started a stream a little bit earlier. Couldn't get any attention to it though, so I don't know what happened there. But this one is looking like we're doing a little bit better. Okay. All right. So I'm going to shuffle. We'll do the reading for the day or tomorrow's energy, and then we'll go into that. Let me do this here. How was your day today, Emmy? Okay, there we go. All right. Let's get it going here. Busy. I'm a healthcare professional. Oh, so we're not just talking busy. We're talking healthcare professional busy, which is, it's a little more busy than busy. So yeah, I can imagine there's days that are busy and then days that are more busy. It's not like there's a break, you know. Trying to get this. Okay, that actually seems to be working now. Okay, so let's see what we can come up with here. I am a tarot reader and a futures trader, and those two, at least for the time being, do not overlap. You're never not going to have work to do. I hear you. That's what I'm saying. I get it. Ari the beautiful. Hey, how you doing, Ari? We're going to do the reading for the day, and then we're going to go to, or tomorrow. Keep getting that mixed up. I'll put you on the list, though, Ari. Let's do that here. Oh, there we go. And maybe we'll do a little bit of my story time here. How I became, or how I started my spiritual journey. We'll kind of go into depth on that. But let's do this first, and then let's answer some questions. And then we'll go into that. And then as I'm telling the story, if you're wanting to do any, if you have any questions pertaining to the story, please feel free to ask. And I will try to address those. And if you're curious about spiritual development in any way, again, feel free to ask. That's what it's for. All right. Tomorrow's energy. What do we got for tomorrow's energy? And also remember to like the video if you guys can do that. I would appreciate it. We got 1 like. Do I hear 2? Do I hear 3? You're welcome, Emmy. You're very welcome. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. I got 2. Rackdawn is here. How you doing, Rackdawn? Probably saying it wrong. You probably, if you thought about mentoring people. Absolutely. The mentoring process, I think, is very valuable. We'll talk about that. I will mention that a little bit, and then we can talk about that too a little bit later. Hey there, Taylor. How's it going? I am doing good. How are you? But yeah, I absolutely do mentoring. Okay. Let's do this here. Okay, so tomorrow's energy. Here's kind of what we're looking at. And this is... I feel like that's similar. I can't remember what yesterday's was. This is almost identical to someone else's reading that I did, though. Yeah, I can put you on the list. Rack. I'll just call you Rack. Hold on here. And Taylor as well. No Ace of Swords this time. We got another sword, though. Four of Swords. Oh, you're saying what was yesterday's. Awesome. Thank you, Anita. So I will get Rack on here and Anita. Oop. And I'll try and work out something, because Saturday and Sunday I'll be able to revamp how this is going, how the whole stream is going. And I might be able to put a list up. So instead of you guys asking when your turn is, there will be a list. I might be able to do that. So, okay, I got Racked on there, and I got Anita on there. I would wait to post your question just a little bit. I'm going to do this really quick, and then I'm going to go through the stuff here. I'm wanting to talk about some things tonight, and so I'm going to go through questions a little bit quicker. They should still be fairly detailed, but we're going to be a little bit quicker. Okay, so tomorrow's energy, we have the Empress. That is your Taurus energy. You guys are very, very welcome. Okay, then we have the Six of Swords. Okay, then we have the King of Coins in reverse. All right, so the Empress, Six of Swords, King of Coins in reverse. We could be looking for something, and it could be very difficult for us to find, but there will be something. So I'm going to be a little bit more specific than using the word something. It's Taurian energy. It's very strong Taurian energy. Taurian energy is like, it's luxury, it's traditional, it's stuff like that. So we could be looking for traditional energy tomorrow, but we're going to have to search for it. So if you're looking for something very specific tomorrow to happen, it could be that it could happen, but it could happen in an untraditional way, and it could make it something that just be adaptable is basically tomorrow's energy. Something unexpected is going to happen, and you need to be adaptable. Also, there could be some of you that are sick. And so I'm thinking, if you're feeling sick, and if you can stay at home, please do. I know it's hard for us to do that, but hey, Janice, how you doing? I'll put you on the list here. A lot of us feel like we have to work even when we're sick, and I know we don't get vacation days, and that makes it difficult, but it's tough. Okay. All right, let's move on here, and let's start with Ari. What was your question? And you've been sick lately. And you're sick too, Janice. Okay. Yeah, so just be kind of mindful of others' energy. If you're sick, you could have some energy that's more standoffish, especially if you're doing something in person. Don't take it personally. Think of it from the lens of like, oh, you're sick, and this person is kind of keeping their distance. Because sometimes we take things very personally. And I know when I'm sick, I'm in a fog, and so I do not think of other people the same way that I would if I wasn't sick. It's a whole mind thing, right? But yeah, Ari, what is your question? Oh, you're typing. Okay, you're good. You're good. Oh, I wish for some of you, it would say that you're typing and I could see it. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe that would be a little overwhelming for the chat, though, to keep posting like little dots, when someone's typing on social media, sometimes there's dots when they're typing, or there's different things there. Oh. We can talk about that. Where was I for a year? Doing a lot of stuff, and I can mention more of that too. Yeah, it's not too personal. I try to keep everything to the point where it really, there's not very many things that are too personal. And I just kind of want to keep things sort of open. I view this as me being a spiritual person, but showing everyone, what I'm doing, how I do it, stuff like that. And so I got to be open with my more personal life too. But why did the lessons I went through in love have to turn out the way they did? Most of these lessons resulted in the guys being dishonest and uncommunicative with me, like not communicating clearly about their intentions. Okay, so this can be, and this is tricky, right? There are parts of us where we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and we do want to give people second chances, but I hate how they couldn't just simply tell me that they weren't interested in me, or tell me that right off the bat. Some of them would wait to tell me that they weren't interested. Okay. And that can be tricky to deal with. Let's look and see what the cards have to say. Okay. I'm going to shuffle these cards here for Ari. What do we got coming up for her? Okay, so we got these ones. The deck I'm using is this one right here. It is called the Fountain Tarot. It's kind of hard to see it though, because it's silver and it blends in. And even on the side it says it, but it's like hard to see. There you can kind of see it. Yeah, the Fountain Tarot is what I'm using. And what are your favorites? The Fountain Tarot. And I use this one too. Energy Oracle. That's another one of my favorites. I've got another one that is my absolute favorite, but I cannot use it because it hurts my hands. It's very much like a decorational deck, but the art is my absolute favorite. But when I go to shuffle, the cards are so... It would take a long time to break them in, but I love it. It's the True Black Tarot deck. Very beautiful. Okay. Hey there, Verified Rockstar. Yes, let me put you on the list here. Okay, Verified Rockstar. You're down the list a little ways, but if you can wait, we'll get to your question. Okay. So we have the King of Wands in reverse. This is for Ari. We have Five of Cups. And then we have the Knight of Swords. I like to say swords instead of swords because it pisses people off. King of Wands, if I'm looking at that, I kind of view it like the Knight of Wands in reverse, which is kind of like player energy, or it could be people, like you said, they're not very clear with their intentions and what they're wanting to have. If we're wanting, there's a disconnect in the way the dating world is right now. Hey there, Steven. I like the emojis. I have no idea what it means, but it looks very nice. And thank you again, guys, for the likes. I'm appreciating it. But if we're dealing with something and we're dealing with player energy, but we're not wanting to attract that, there could be a part of us that feels more in a sense of kind of wanting to be accepted, right? That can be something that can be that way. And it's like you have these clear intentions, but men do not operate the same way. They just don't. And it sucks. There's a lot of men that will say they want something, and then when they get what they want, they're going to be done. And that sounds horrible, but hear me out. If you're dating someone, this is for the ladies, okay? Heck, I've even had guys tell my friends that they weren't interested in me, which I find ridiculous because why couldn't you just tell me? You should be telling me that, not my friends. Okay, first off, I will say it like this. Men are cowardly. Very cowardly. If a woman is in her power or she's beginning to become in her power, men have a very hard time telling people how it is straight up. Okay? They would rather, for lack of a better word, pussyfoot around. All right? Which means walking around the issue, not directly identifying it. These are people that can't handle confrontation. And like I'm saying, these are cowardly people. Okay? They're kind of like if you could imagine a human, and then if there was a diet version of a human, that's what these people are. they look like they have everything there, but that flavor is missing something, right? And you can't replace it with Splenda. You can't have stevia in there. It's just the diet human kind of mentality that we're talking about here. So it's kind of like it's easier for them to just sort of do whatever they want to do, and then they can sort of just kind of write it off and have it be something where they can cast doubt on you. They can make you feel crazy. They can make you feel a certain way. The best advice I can give women that I think would be 100% what you guys need to do moving forward is if you're in the dating world, okay, and maybe you do this, Ari, maybe you don't. I'm not calling you out. I'm not saying anything with this, but just hear me out until the end. True, and these lessons have made me value honesty a lot. Dishonesty is a huge deal breaker for me. I would say it's my number 2 deal breaker. Possessiveness, controlling tendencies is my top deal breaker. Okay, and it's good to have those deal breakers. Hey there, Furcia. How you doing? I'm probably saying your name wrong. I've got you on the list here. Just stay with me. Okay. And I'm taking just a little bit more time talking about this because it's important for you guys to know this. And then my train of thought. 1 second here. Okay, now I remember. All right, so don't give away the prize of you, and that would be in intimate situations. I know there's a tendency for us to possibly want to move quickly, and maybe waiting on the 3rd or 4th date, maybe to you that doesn't seem like a quick time to do it, but it's what's really good to do in these kinds of situations is wait. And you're going to hate me for saying this because it makes it so that it's ridiculous. Wait 2 months before there's any kind of sexual intimacy at all. And you guys are thinking that's a hell of a long time to wait. Okay, and I understand what you're saying, but this weeds out the people that just want you for sex. This makes it so that they have to earn that. They have to earn that love or trust or whatever it happens to be. They have to earn it. And if you do that, then you get to see who stays in your life and who says, you know what, I can't do this, bye. And it sucks to have to do it that way, but it makes it so that when the people do stick around, they're sticking around because they genuinely like you and they want to get to know you. Definitely make them wait for a bit. Okay, like I said, 2 months. It sounds like a long time. 2 months, that could be, yes, you are the prize. Absolutely, you're the prize. That's something you guys have to remember. And a lot of times when you give up the prize too quickly, there's no interest in chasing you anymore. And that sounds horrible, but that's the player energy. That's not a man's energy. That's the player, right? And so we want to get rid of that energy as soon as possible. And you just have to keep to yourself and you have to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to give this to you. And 2 months, that's, if there's 1 date a week, that's 8 dates. If there's 2 dates a week, that's 16 dates. It sounds like a long time. It is not. And it weeds out the people that would be shit for you anyway. Okay. And a lot of people would say, well, I can't do that. Then you're going to keep attracting these kinds of people. All right. We have to value ourselves higher and we have to place our priority on not being intimate with someone until we know how that is going. And I get there can be chemistry, there can be a spark, there can be that thing there. But the more you withhold, the more high value you are. What type of man would you say is the most honest, like from your perspective? What type of man? Tim Allen? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. What type of man? I wish, okay, maybe there's a way you could word that question a little bit differently here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next question, but I'll still be talking with you too, Ari. So, Rackdon, are you still there? And while I'm shuffling cards, I'll be talking with Ari as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. But the type of man, okay, the type of man that would be, while I'm shuffling these cards here, would be someone who their actions link up with their words, their body language links up with their actions. And there's that kind of sense like anyone can say anything and absolutely be bullshitting you. But if they actually show, action, like if they promise you something and then they fulfill that promise, you can kind of, in your mind, you can like give them a point and be like, okay, they said something and they followed through with it. So you want people that say things, they follow through. You don't want people that say things and then they forget about it, or they act bothered when you say, well, you said you would do it. And then they're like, fine, I'll do it, But that's kind of, hopefully that sort of answers that question a little bit. When will I get a job? I am jobless since 1 year. I am not getting an interview. Also, I am learning new skills. Hopefully it will help me. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do, Rack Dawn. I'm not going to use the cards because it's time frame that you're talking about here, and I don't think we need to focus on time frame. We need to focus on talking about how to get a better resume. If you haven't had a job in a year, what you can do is, and I'm going to be mentioning this a lot because we have these tools available to us. So we can use ChatGPT to make ourselves a resume that has certain trigger words in it, because right now, I'll tell you, if you submit a resume to get a job, you are not going to be hired in a lot of ways because they don't even read your resume. All right. What they do, though, is they look for certain keywords. So if you can write your resume and then use ChatGPT to help make it even better, generally speaking, that's going to make you stand out because they don't even read your resume. They just look for certain keywords. They have a program that just looks for certain keywords in certain resumes. And so they don't even read your resume. They just look for those keywords. And depending on, okay, you're doing it. All right. That's going to be the best kind of information or the best kind of help I can give you. And then just looking at what you can do to sort of make yourself stand out, like what industry is it that you're going into and stuff like that. But use ChatGPT for that, okay? The cards wouldn't really give me a time frame that we could work with, and I'm not going to be asking you for money. Generally, I ask for money for time frame questions, but if you don't have a job, I'm not going to ask you for money in that way. But just keep trying, keep doing that, and keep looking into ways that you can implement kind of ChatGPT and use AI and stuff like that. Okay, so Amita, are you there? But just keep trying. I know it seems hopeless at times, but just keep trying. Eventually, you'll get something. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being patient. And so we have Amita or Janice. And remember to like, you guys, if you can do that for me. I think I turned on reactions. Does this do anything? Oh, I just look like an idiot. Okay, I got you. Ari says, like, are extroverted men more honest or introverted? Or maybe like, what type of trait should I look for in a man that correlates with honesty from your perspective? That's a good question. That is a good question. Okay, so I don't think introverted or extroverted, I don't think it matters because either one of them can be a manipulative asshole. One of them can be, so there's the narcissist, there's the covert narcissist and the overt narcissist. Either one of those can possibly be a person that you get involved with. Generally speaking, it's more rare that it's an overt narcissist. These are just really stupid people. Covert narcissism is more intelligent, and I'm not saying that like they're smart people, but they're better at hiding the way that they abuse people, and they usually do it behind closed doors. Either one of those can happen. Hey there, Petra. Hey there, Cambanese. Yes, I will put you on the list. Okay. All right, so we didn't have either of those, or no, we did have Janice come through. And I'll address your question again here in 1 second, Ari, so stay with me. Okay, what's coming in love for you? You're single, let's look at that. Okay. But yeah, as I'm shuffling these cards, you're going to want to look for people, like I said, they fulfill promises and they don't make a big deal out of it. You're going to want to look for people that don't brag about themselves. You're going to want to look for people that have a sense of security and confidence, but not to the sense of like, it seems unreal. It's like, do you even take a shit? Like, have you ever, has anyone ever frowned at you? It's like, you want to deal with people that are going to be easier to deal with and they seem like real people. If someone is putting on a front or they're putting on something, make it, in your mind, make that person kind of unattainable, because odds are they're overcompensating for something. And it's not because it's too big. Okay, I'm just going to say that right now. They are just very, very insecure people. And when you date, and here's the thing that kind of sucks, okay? when you date an incredibly insecure person, they can be very nice. They can have good intentions at times, but they will have a lot of emotional issues. And so you want to date people that are more confident and secure with themselves. And so that's kind of where you want to see if someone is secure with themselves. You want to see if they can be comfortable, but you also want to feel something from them. Not just a spark, but something more. Person makes you feel safe and your nervous system stays calm. Consistency is key. Yes, Stephen, absolutely. Absolutely. 1 second here. So, Stephen, you'll be after Janice. And we're going to see what's coming in love. Remember to like the video, you guys, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'd appreciate it. The channel would appreciate it, and the world would be happier because of it. Don't ask me how I know. I just do. Oh, I got a like. I got another like. Sweet. Sweet. I have cats. All right. I don't know if that deserves a like, but I have cats. 3 of them. Okay. What's coming in love for Janice? And here we go. Imagine if men were more direct and upfront, things would be so much easier. It would be. If men felt like they could express themselves in an emotional way where they weren't viewed as being cowardly. So I'm absolutely for men being in power. And Taylor, I got you on the list here. Women have been oppressed by men 100%, and that is men's fault. 100% without anything there. But men also can't express themselves in a way that they feel comfortable with their emotions. Right? Oh, yeah. Women can be unavailable as well. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. There are women that are colder than ice. And anyway, okay. There are a lot of women narcissists too. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. I'm not saying they can't be. I'm just saying men generally usually lead in certain situations, and the dominance can easily turn into a sense of narcissistic things, and they'll just think that they're being very dominant and powerful when really they're being very controlling and manipulative. And of course, women can be that way too, right? Hey there, CJ Brooks, Facts and Receipts. That is a name. That is a name. Okay. So Janice, what do we got here for wands? Men are still taught to distrust their feelings. Absolutely, we're taught to distrust our feelings. I didn't even think I had them. I didn't think I had them till I was well into my 20s. And I was having emotional breakdowns over weird stuff. I was watching a movie, Pursuit of Happiness. And the movie itself was touching. But after the movie ended, I just burst into tears. And I remember at that point in time, I couldn't think what was going on, but it was like full on sobbing where you can't breathe. And there was a bunch of people around me. It was embarrassing. And I still remember that. It is a good movie. Okay. All right. So Janice, we have got 4 of Wands. We have got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And we have got the 3 of Coins. Okay. Love will be presenting itself when you're ready, and I'm seeing it like there's a switch. There's something that can be turned on, and there's something that can be turned off. So there could be a part of you that's ready for certain things to move on, but what kind of energy are you putting out to the universe to get this kind of relationship? A lot of people, I'll give you an example. There will be people that say they want a relationship, but then their closets are full all the way on one side. Their garage is filled on the other side. So a 2-car garage can only have 1 car. There's things we can do mentally and spiritually to make it so that we can have things come in there. Nice to meet you too, Verified Rockstar. Thank you. And I'm looking here to see. Okay, Sasha. Oh, thank you, Sasha. That's very sweet of you to say. And then I read No, a lot of narcissistic relationships. That's generally when we go through a spiritual awakening, we get rid of those people. Right, and then Petra says, prepare the space to receive love in our lives. Yes, Petra, absolutely. Yes, I'm going to move on to the next reading here, but hopefully that makes sense, Janice. There can be love that comes into your life. Just give it time and give it space to bloom and to blossom, okay? All right, so that person is, so Stephen, what is your question? Hold on 1 second. Okay. People, you are very welcome, Janice. People are also a mirror on things we need to work on. Oh, 100%. I cannot even tell you, especially if you're doing psychic work, 100%. I've had people, I will have very specific issues in my life that are going on, and I will work with a client or I'll work with someone and their issues are the same, and that is so interesting. It's Spirit's way of giving me information on how to handle the situation for myself. And then it's like I'm getting information for myself to tell to this other person, but I benefit from it too. It's really, really interesting. So Stephen says ego death and love life. Okay. And then she was the one who initiated. You get tested all the time to level up. I confronted her and she literally had no shame whatsoever. No, and when we're dealing with people like that, like I said, it's best to walk away. There will be a part of us that wants to seek revenge. No, not with these people. Imagine this kind of scenario. Imagine you were in, imagine you had an experience, and I'm just using this as an example. Imagine you had an experience with chocolate. And I'm going to look love life for Stephen while I'm doing this. You had an experience with chocolate, and all of a sudden you hated chocolate. Okay. And I'm not using this for a metaphor for anything else. I just don't want to use the one metaphor I was thinking of. So I'm using a dessert. Okay. And you're having this situation, and all of a sudden you hate chocolate. You just hate it now. It's just something you don't like anymore. It's a dessert you hate. And instead of being like, okay, I hate this and moving on with your life, the rest of your life is spent telling other people how much you hate it. You are still attached to that situation because you're not letting it go. Okay. And so that's something to look at too. A lot of people will be in a situation and then they stay attached to it unnecessarily because they hate it. And they hate it so much and they feel like they're justified in their anger and they feel like they have to do this. Eventually you have to let it go so that you can heal and move on, because ruminating on it doesn't do us any good. A lot of actually only empathetic people attract narcissists, so it's important to learn boundaries. Yes, absolutely, 100%. I don't know where that hair came out of, but it was in my mouth and my nose at the same time. So, yeah, okay, nope. And in my eye. Oh, wow, that is interesting. New experiences, guys. I'm telling you. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at there. I'm trying to let people go right now. I understand. Love life for Stephen. Let's see what we can come up with there. Also attached to pains of an old love. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough with that. Yeah, we got to let people go that are no longer in our best interest or are good for us. And the way that I view it is some people will be like supplements to our soul and other people will be like poison. So take those people that are supplements to the soul, supplements, right? And have that be something that you can use going forward to say, this person nourishes me and I can nourish them as well. But do not nourish people in your life that give you nothing back but bad vibes. Okay. And especially not if you're thinking, oh, I can change them. I can do this. I can do that. No, it's not about that. You are wasting your time. All right. I too want to let someone go, but they took my whole world. I'm sorry, Bradley. So then we got, what do we got for Stephen here? Ah, okay. Okay. That is interesting. Yes, the Nike box is garbage. The Nike box is garbage. Just so you guys know, if you see a Nike box around somewhere, it's garbage. Okay, so we have the Magician right here. One of my favorite cards. Okay. Three of Swords right here. And Temperance. So take the day you were born, everybody. Take the day you were born. Mine is the 28th. Add those two numbers together, it equals 1. Okay, 2, 8, it's 10, but then you just take the 1 because you can't be a 0 anyway. And so I am the Magician. I have this, not this card, but this Major Arcana as a thing up in my room. It's like one of the few things I have up on my wall. The Magician is a very powerful card. This is helping us to create our reality. Live in the moment, heal within, and the world around you changes. Actually, yeah, if you're describing the Magician, that's a really good way to describe it. The Magician is about attracting what you want. The Three of Swords could be us having a sense. Actually, the Three of Swords with Temperance right here. See, and I'm learning something new. Magician is Virgo. I didn't know which one the Magician was. I know almost all the other cards, which one they are. I do not know the Magician, though. So if it's Virgo, makes a ton of sense because it definitely has that Hermit energy, in my opinion. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords, and then we have Temperance. Three of Swords is heartbreak. And to me, this is like breaking our own heart, but then finding a sense of balance. So you need to have a sense of balance. And the Temperance to me is finding peace in the storm. Yes. It's also finding balance within while healing. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I'm looking at this, there will be more love that comes in your life once we go through the storm and we feel like we're moving through it, right? When we're in the storm, it doesn't make sense to attract people in it. When we're healing from the storm, and I know it feels like we need someone in our life when the storm is going on, but a lot of times when we're in that storm, it's to temper our soul to make it so there can be new connections that come in. And so that's something that you can look at as a way to sort of focus on that. I know it seems unfair. I know it seems like life is making us feel lonely. And then on top of that, there's this also. And you can absolutely view it that way, but you can also view it as a way that it's meant for you to get better so that you can attract something better. When we're in a very turbulent situation, we can attract very turbulent people. And those people don't necessarily have our best interests at heart, unfortunately, which stinks because it seems like you're being punished for being in a low vibration. You're not being punished. It's the universe's way of sending you a mirror to see what is going on in your life and to see if you want to continue to be in that space or if you feel like you can elevate higher. So don't view it like a punishment, view it like a stepping stone. And when the universe is telling you something, say, is this something I want to have or is this something I don't want to have, right? So have it be something like that. Like I said, we can view it like, oh shit, this is happening to me, or we can view it like, oh shit, this is happening to me, and we can be okay with it. So that can be something. Transmuting energy. Life will bring a narc back to see if you are healed. Much love to those who have the courage to be better from this. This is an invaluable lesson to learn of self-love. Absolutely, Sasha, 100%. Yes, whenever we take our energy back, whenever we start taking them little energies back, the person that we're taking them back from generally does show back up in our lives. And that sounds exciting at first until you realize it's a toxic situation. You have the power to walk away too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense, Stephen. The time period has been so long. And there isn't a time limit. There isn't a time limit on this stuff. It feels like it's been a long time, and I understand that, and it could actually be a long time too. I'm not saying it feels like it, and it's not. I'm saying that it takes as long as it takes, and we just have to focus on that. We just have to focus on the process, even though, again, I know it can be a long time. Okay. Cambanese, are you there? And Kamini says, hi, perfect. Okay, happening for me, not to me. I've been in dark night of the soul for a long time. That's a funny thing. I was having this conversation yesterday. Dark night of the soul does not mean it lasts one night. No, that ain't it at all, Chief. Dark night of the soul can last for a very long time. Very, very long time. And especially if we're having like a Kundalini awakening, it can last for a very long time and be extremely painful, even physically. Some people will have a Kundalini awakening that's so strong that it starts to rip through the muscles in their body, which it's uncommon, but it does happen. It's interesting. I don't want to scare you guys. I find it fascinating that spiritual abilities can take on these different little things. Like the video, you guys, if you wouldn't mind. If you enjoy that I have 3 cats, like the video. If you don't enjoy that I have 3 cats, like the video. I need the likes. I need validation, or I will wither and die. All right. As Mr. Rogers once said, hit the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it. But there we go. I got a thumbs up. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I can start to feel that meter go down. All right. Kamini says, awesome, Petra. Thank you. Oh, we got a 14. Perfect. So last week I was on vacation, stayed in a hotel for a day. I had sleep paralysis and saw a girl sitting on the edge of the bed. I was looking at the back of her head. My question is, who was she? Bradley had a Kundalini awakening, lasted for a whole season. Yeah, they can last for a long time. Was she a ghost or an entity? Definitely an entity, it sounds like. I'm signing off. Have a good night, everyone. You too, Emmy. Keep coming back until you go through it. Yes. Yes. I'm loving the community vibes. I'm loving this. People are saying goodnight to each other, being sweet. I love it. Sweetness is highly, highly valued here. Okay, so I'm going to say it like this. If we see an entity and it's at the corner of the bed and we have sleep paralysis, that does not mean that it's bad. That does not mean that it's negative, okay? I want to get rid of these kinds of things because it pisses me off to no end. And I will say why. There are entities that will make us feel fear, but it is because they are scared and we are picking up on the emotion that they are scared, okay? That is very different from something that is negative. And if an entity is feeling scared, you will feel fear. Okay, there can be other things too, but it does not mean that it's negative. All right. And sleep paralysis, again, it's not a negative thing. Sleep paralysis can lead to astral projection. And so it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Even if it seems like it's out of control or it's spontaneous, it doesn't have to be negative. Right? This time I wasn't scared. Other times I have been scared. Okay. And it's normal to be scared. Sleep paralysis is some scary shit. I've gone through it. I had it only once that I can remember. And it feels very, very scary. Kind of like you're sinking inside of your own body, inside of quicksand, and you can't move. And the more you try to move or the more you try to struggle, it feels like it's hard to just do anything, right? Why don't you ask what it wants? So here's another thing. Sometimes these entities are projections of the imagination as well. So there could literally be that it is the self that is doing something and it's projecting itself in a certain way, which I know sounds very confusing. But the sleep paralysis, to me, for most people, it's to get you out of body, which sounds very scary, but it's because you have a proclivity to it or a natural kind of thing to it. I believe it's mostly UAPs. Unidentified aerial phenomena, is that what you mean? Or is that something else? It's probably something else. Or unidentified astral projectors. I'm not sure. You get sleep paralysis pretty often. So what I would say, Cantonese, is start out with this, and I would say this. So when you have sleep paralysis, and I know it's probably the last thing you want to think of, call in angels and guides, okay? Call in angels and guides and have it be something where you can feel a sense of protection, and then lean into this and see what happens if you lean into it. You've tried being scared of it. You've tried having that fear, but what happens if you lean into it and experience that, right? And if anything does happen that feels negative, you can come back here, talk with me. We'll deal with it. I've done, stop it, you two, stop it. I've done exorcisms. I've closed portals. I've done whatever needs to be done. So if anything happens that feels like it's a negative thing, you can come back here. We'll deal with it. But I do have a feeling that it's something trying to reach out. Stop it, you two. Hey, leave her alone. Cat's names are Yoshi, Trixie, and Hazel. Okay. Unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Aubrey, you're using 130 IQ words for my 80 IQ brain. I know what two of those words mean. I'm not going to say which two I know. But one of those in there doesn't word for me. I dream of places before I visit them. When I finally visit, I've seen exact rooms in my dreams and see them in real life the next day. That's cool. I like that. Hey there, Kelsey. You had your interview. And hopefully it went well. I think I spelled it wrong. Unidentified. Oh, okay. I know what you were trying to say. Unidentified areola phenomenon, which is when I take my shirt off. That's kind of what you would see. So that makes sense. But I get it. I understand. No, I'm just making fun of things. I hope it went well, praying that I'll get the job. Hey, I hope you get the job too. I hope you get the job too. What I try to do is when I get in there and I go in for a job interview, I immediately try to start a fight with the biggest person there to show my dominance. I do lose every time, but if they feel sorry for me enough, generally I'll get the job. Oh yes, I'm very silly. I cannot be taken seriously. That is a fact. Okay, Taylor, did you have a question? Yes, be the alpha man. I don't know what that is, because there's like the alpha man, and then there's like 25 levels below that, and then some numbers, and then just like the poop emoji with the smiley face, and then the runner emoji. That's my symbol. Pratima, good to see you too. Just get a general. Let's see what we can come up with for the general. Well, I've also heard voices while I know I am still asleep and about to wake up. It's very weird to hear just one word in my ear. Yes, Cambanese, you got it. You got it. Okay, so that state right there. I got to go to Ireland. I was the astral projection person. I got to, so one of my abilities that I can do, and you guys can book a session with me and we can try it out. It's been a while since I've done it, but I can help take you out of body, right? So we get you into a comfortable space and then I can help to lift you out of body. Super interesting stuff. And then we can have you have different experiences. But that's kind of beside the point. That right there, though, is called the hypnagogic state. The hypnagogic state exists between waking and sleeping. And so it's very likely that you can hear voices. The hypnomorphic state is when you're going to fall asleep, but you're still awake. And you can hear voices during that time too, because you're getting closer to the psychic realm where your mind is relaxed, or your mind is awake and your body is asleep. Okay. So that's something that we can talk about there. It's interesting stuff. So there's a lot of times we can be very close to having psychic abilities happen. One time, what was really interesting, and I'm going to do a general for Taylor here while I'm shuffling the cards up. One time what was really interesting is I woke up, it was dark, as it normally is when you wake up and it's nighttime. If I woke up and it was light, I would be concerned. But I woke up, it was dark. I was in my room and I did not recognize it. But I wasn't looking through my eyes either. I woke up and I was a 17-year-old girl. And I was in a room I didn't recognize. And for like half a second, I was freaking out. And then I came back into my body. but it was kind of like another spirit was kind of seeing through my eyes, and I was seeing through their eyes. It was really interesting. Does it help if you are easily hypnotized? I think it does, yes. Is that different than hearing conversations and seeing family and sleep paralysis, but doesn't actually happen in reality? Kind of like a body swap. Kind of, yeah, but you got to remember when the body, so I did a class where I can do trance mediumship, and I can do it, but it's not my preferred way of doing things, and shit starts breaking. I have lights will go out, things will happen when I'm doing this kind of stuff, and so I don't do the trance mediumship, but that's when my consciousness leaves my body, and then another spirit can come in. But it's always going to be, you can think of it like a very positive entity comes in. It's not like a negative thing comes in and it's like a possession in The Exorcist or whatever. It's a very positive spirit that comes in, but my consciousness has to leave so the other one can take place. If that makes any sense. But there's 3 levels to mediumship. And so you have mental mediumship, which is what I'm known for. When I can, when I feel like that's something I can do. Then you have trance mediumship. That's like the next level. That's mental mediumship is I'm awake and I can give you answers to questions because I'm fully conscious, but I'm connected to the spirit world. Trance mediumship is when I am basically, my body, I've left it. Something else is coming in, and I usually won't have any recollection of anything I've said or done. But generally, I'm just kind of sitting in a chair. And I've never taken that to the point where I'm getting messages. I've just done it to the point where, because I was doing a class for it, I've just done it to a point where other people could see that I was being what's called overshadowed. And that's where it looks like your face is shifting or changing because another energy is taking over it. And it's like features of your face start to change that they can see psychically, if that makes any sense. How do you know it's positive? Love is a very positive force, and you will know if you are working with spirits of a very high vibration, they will make sure that it's a positive force that comes in, and you will feel a sense of love and guidance from that kind of thing. And other people that are around you will also feel inspired and uplifted as well. It's like you radiate this golden energy, or the angel that is coming in to take place, or the spirit that's coming in to take place is radiating that golden energy. Okay, so Taylor, General. It's interesting stuff. I'm telling you right now, it's interesting, and it gets much weirder, because then there's the final level of mediumship, and it's the stuff that is it's where things start getting unbelievable. Stop it. So yeah, well, creepy to me. Sorry, I'm not understanding why you do this. That's fine. You don't have to understand it, and that's okay. If it seems creepy, I can understand why it seems that way. I'm still trying to get it too. Being in the act of letting go so completely is something that is very foreign to me, and I'm still trying to understand it myself. So I can understand why it seems creepy, and you're okay to feel that way. I'm not sitting here judging it, being like, what do you mean? Are you insulting me on a direct level? No, you're good. I get it. What I'm talking about is bizarre, to say the least. I don't take offense, though. You're fine. I heard a watery voice ask my daughter, who was around 5 at the time, what she was doing. It sounded like a little girl's voice underwater. That's interesting, too. That is really interesting. Could have been an elemental, probably. But is it unalived persons who enter you? It can be, but generally it's like spirit guides, which are people that haven't been people for a very long time. They've been, they're not like angels, but they're above like a regular human spirit at the same time. So their energy is kind of hard to explain. But yes, unalive people can come in too, because you can do mediumship sessions where it's like, if your mother had passed on, I could essentially go into that state. Your mother could step into my body in a way, and then she could give messages from her perspective. And yeah, it sounds bizarre. I know it sounds strange. Yeah, I'll go to pull my own card sometimes and things will fly off the shelf, but I don't get scared. That's good. You don't get scared. When stuff like that starts to happen, it can be a little unnerving, but it's interesting too. I love mediumship. It's so healing. It is. It's very healing. Is it safe for you? Absolutely it is. As long as you're working with the proper spirits and guides, it is absolutely safe for you. So when we develop a sense of spirituality and our own sense of spirituality, always call upon very high vibrational beings to help you in the process. That way, when you're doing this stuff and you get more and more into a deeper level, you have angels, you have guides that can help guide you, make you But that being said, there will be challenges. There will be things that challenge you and push you in a way that make you feel uncomfortable, but you shouldn't feel scared to the point where it's like, oh, something's happening. So that's something that you guys can kind of take as a way to understand those kinds of things. Okay, so Taylor, we get the Two of Wands in reverse. We get the Page of Coins. Do you smudge? Not on purpose, but sometimes after I get drunk, there can be smudges. I'm just kidding. Four of Swords. What I do is I bath or bathe, as normal people would say. And so that is something that I do. Smudging can be good, but sometimes the smoke, and not because I have attachments, the smoke can just irritate my sinuses. So sometimes I'll smudge, but most of the time it's like I take a salt bath, or I connect myself to the earth, or I just make sure that I give my energy, I put my energy into the earth, I recycle it, and I kind of do stuff that way. So there's different ways you can do it. It's kind of like if you go to the gym a lot and you're working out, eventually those muscles get stronger. If you can visualize things and you can do it in a very strong way, you don't necessarily need to smudge. You don't need to do these other things. I'm not saying don't do it, because the ritual does help. It does help. But if you're in a pinch or you're in a bind, if you have good visualization, good imagination, it can make it so that those abilities can kind of almost be the same, almost be similar to smudging. But it does help to actually do it too, of course. So Two of Wands in reverse, Page of Coins, and Four of Swords in reverse. And so if I'm looking at this, there could be paths that we have to choose. There could be things that we have to choose. Okay, I want that to focus. There could be things that we have to choose coming up, but as long as we let ourselves be rested and relaxed, we can be good. But there could be a sense of hurry up kind of energy. You heard the sneezing too. That was my dad. He was in the other room. Bless you, dear Father. I don't know if you heard me though. Yeah, he probably didn't hear me. Let yourself take the time that you need in order to make decisions that you need to make. If we're feeling rushed in any way and it's by a person, tell them to back off. Tell them that, hey, back off. I don't know how else I can word that, because that's literally what you need to do. A lot of us during this time right now will be focusing on establishing boundaries, and that can be very tricky, especially, and I'm not meaning this in any, I'm not saying this in a way that's to make people feel bad or anything, but women specifically will have a very hard time setting boundaries, because in the West especially, they are told to never have boundaries. They're just told not to do it because it's rude. It's rude to have boundaries, apparently, and it's not. Having boundaries is something that is absolutely necessary for a healthy sense of self-esteem and a sense of valuing yourself. And a lot of people do not like it when you have boundaries. But what's great about it is those people disappear when you start putting boundaries up. And it's like, oh, I'm losing people. Yeah, but they were shit anyway. Okay, they made the whole world smell so bad. They made everything so shitty, and now they're gone. They're just out of there. So who the hell cares? I find it funny. People are like, well, I'll lose people. Yes, you will lose people that are bad. It's not a bad thing to lose bad people. It's like, well, what am I going to do if I don't have this infection anymore? You're going to be healthy. Like, it's great. You guys get what I'm talking about. Okay. Hey there, Aisha. So just focus on giving yourself time. And remember, guys, like the video if you can do that for me. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, you should go for it. You can ask a question. Thank you for the like there. Okay. You are very welcome, Taylor. It's Chance, but I've been called Chase so many times. Everyone calls me Chase. It's ridiculous. But I appreciate it. The guy said he has feelings for you. It's important to right off the bat. Thank you, Chance. You're a cool guy. Gotta run. Oh, okay. You're good. You're good. Take care, Aubrey. Thanks for stopping by. The guy said he has feelings for you. Okay. So in these situations, if the guy says he has feelings for you, yeah, you can do past life hypnot. I was going to say hypnotizing, but in a very weird way, so I'm not going to do that. Hypnotization was what I was going to say. Pretty sure that's very not a word. A lot. But yeah, there can be past life hypnotizing. Oh, that's hard for me. Guy says he has feelings for you, Aisha. Let's see what we can come up with here. All right, so we got the Paggy of Wands, which would be the Page. That's actually a really hard card to see, but it's a young energy. It's kind of like a younger energy. Then we have the Six. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Six of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Magician in reverse. I would say with this energy, be kind of careful with how you're dealing with it. If someone says they like you, that's great, but wait and see how that kind of progresses before you say anything back or before you feel like anything. A lot of times people will just say stuff to make you feel a certain way, and they don't necessarily mean it. I said no to his proposal. Okay. Yeah, and that's something that I think can be a good thing to do. I didn't hear good about his character. Well, there you go. Like I said, I feel I hurt him. And I will say this, oh well. People get rejected all the time. It's part of life. If he has a huge issue with it, oh well. Get used to saying no and get used to saying no a lot, because that's okay. It is okay to say no, and it is okay to say how you feel. If you feel like this person has a character, then that's how you feel. And it's okay to feel that way. But like I said, get used to saying no and get used to saying no a lot, especially you ladies out there. Because who cares if you hurt someone's feelings a little bit, right? He'll survive. Unfortunately, and especially if his character's bad, he'll survive. His parents are back of him to know him better. You got to work on that, Cantonese. You got to say no. I thought to give him a chance. How far into the future can cards read? A good amount of time, but the further you go into the future, it's going to be a lot less likely to happen, because free will takes on so many different events that just something very slight can change it. So let's say I did a reading 3 years into the future. Something very slight could change that. Like there could be a death, or there could be something that happens. You could get hurt in some way, or someone else could get hurt, and it just makes it so the entirety of events can be very hard to read and kind of muddy. So Aisha, don't worry too much about it. You said no, and that's okay. And whatever is going to happen is going to happen. But kind of go with what you feel is right. And if you feel like you hurt someone, it stinks. But do you see cards he is upset with me? The Magician in reverse and the Six of Wands. There could be this. I'll say it like this. If I see these two cards together, there can be some manipulative energy on their end. And so if someone is upset with you over saying no to them liking you or asking you out, that really says a lot about their character. If they really get genuinely upset over the fact that they ask you out and you say no, then they don't really care about you that much. Because if someone really does care about you and they really like you to that kind of point, getting rejected shouldn't make them hate you, and it shouldn't make them mad at you. That's something that little boys do, right? So have that be something that's moving on. It sucks to be rejected. It sucks to be rejected. Like, it's not fun, but it happens, and it's okay, and it builds character in the long run. If we say yes to everything, we don't learn anything. And if we also say no, we don't learn anything. But that's something that you can kind of look at. And a lot of people will say, I just want you to be happy. And I don't care who you choose. I just want you to be happy. Very, 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 very few people actually mean that. I can promise you, very few people actually mean that. And the ones that do mean that, sometimes you just can't be with, right? He was manipulative. The cards are right. Okay, so then don't feel bad. Especially if they're manipulative, don't feel bad about it. Good people are good people, and they're not going to care about things. And if you set boundaries and you say no, and they get weird about it, that shows a ton about their character too. And who cares if they're upset? And I'm sorry if this is someone you have to see on a regular basis, but again, it's one of those things where you are in charge and you have power and control in the situation. Exercise that power and control. You guys, I'm telling you, you don't know how much power and control you have. You deserve better, not a manipulator. Absolutely. Absolutely. There should be no manipulation going on at all. And eventually most people learn this lesson after they've already been to the point of kind of breaking. And then they go through a part in life where they're an absolute hard ass and they're very cold and distant. And then eventually they come back to being soft and open again, but this time with boundaries. So don't go to the extremes. We don't have to go to the extremes to learn things. We can learn things in a gradual process. If someone doesn't value you, take that and quit giving people second chances to not value you. I understand at first it's like, I'll give them one more shot. But what happens is that you keep giving the person permission to piss on you over and over again. And eventually you're going to call it rain and you're going to be grateful for it. Like, no, it's piss. It doesn't do anything for you. Get out of there. So just have this be something where you're moving on and you're focusing on establishing boundaries and you're focusing on what feels good for you. Okay, it's not selfish to focus on that. It is necessary. All right. So that's something we can all kind of take heart in. So just have it be something that feels uncomfortable. That's okay. You're welcome. You're very welcome, Aisha. But yeah, don't feel bad for these people, and always feel free to say no. Men act a certain way when they are in love. They won't risk losing you if they truly love you. Exactly. CJ Brooks, facts and receipts. Your name reminds me of like an interesting law firm. But I do agree with you. Yes, when a man truly loves you and likes you, they will not try to risk it. And there can be a sense of kind of a gallant knight kind of energy, not this kind of weird, manipulative, weaselly, rushing in kind of energy. And also, if you're in a situation where someone feels like they are rushing you or what's called love bombing, that's also a red flag as well. And so we'll talk about that just for a second, just in case people don't know what that is. Love bombing. Okay, imagine this situation, right? We meet up in real life, and I'm just the cutest little boy. No, we meet up, and my first thing that I start doing is I start doing stuff like I'm giving you big expensive gifts and presents, and I'm telling you how much I love you, and I'm telling you all of these things, and you're sitting there and you're taken aback, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy, this is cool, this is awesome. And that right there is very, very bad, because a lot of times when people do that, it's called love bombing, and they use it as a form of manipulation to take you off guard. And when you're off guard, then they kind of have control of you. And then you'll say something like, oh, I don't like the way you treat me when you do this. And they'll be like, well, I got you that gold necklace. You like that, don't you? I got you this car. You like that, don't you? They use it as a way to manipulate and control you. So have it be something where if there is a relationship, let it form slowly. If it feels like things are moving too fast, that's a huge red flag. Okay, things should move at an appropriate pace, and it shouldn't be something where after the second or third time you guys meet, you're getting ready to get married. That's not a good sign. Okay, 3 months you're getting ready to get married. Again, not a good sign. And I know arranged marriages are a thing out there, and I've said my piece on that. I'm not going to go into it. But when it comes to moving things too quickly, that is not a good sign. It feels good in the moment because you're caught up in love and the chemicals and the hormones and shit. It feels great. But then reality sets in. And generally speaking, people use that as a form of leverage eventually. And so that's something you kind of want to be aware of. You guys aren't asking me for this. I'm just kind of letting you know, because you do have a ton of power. And CJ Brooks is telling me Cancer Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising. Awesome. I am a Taurus Sun, Aquarius Moon, and Virgo Rising, and I am so sorry because of it. I'm weird as hell, and at first it was bothering me, and now I can't help it. So I just let myself be weird wherever I go. I'm just a strange little guy. That's how it is. Yep. Okay. Yeah. What's everyone else's sun, moon, and rising? Definitely not doing this to pick favorites. It's not something I would do. But if we get a matching set of like Virgo, Virgo, Virgo or something, that would be cool. And it would probably be my favorite. I don't know. Virgos are interesting. Like I said, Virgo rising for me. Virgo is my North Node and Venus. I wish I knew what that meant. See, I know a ton about spiritual subjects. I know hardly anything about astrology, if I can be absolutely honest. I know which cards relate to which signs for the most part, and I know what the different signs mean. You kind of look like Harry Potter. I look like if Harry Potter, I don't know, had a baby with himself, and then that baby grew up and turned into me. That's kind of what I think I look like. I've gotten that, though. The boy who lived. And I did. I almost died many times when I was younger. Cancer Sun, Leo Moon. Okay. I like the fire and water we got going there, Petra. Yeah, so I don't know anything when it comes to astrology. I have tried to learn it, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me at all. It's like trying to teach a monkey math. Eventually, the monkey starts getting mad and starts throwing stuff at you. I won't say what they throw, but it's not good. It's not good stuff. There's no rocks around, so I'll leave that to your imagination. Cambany says, I'm a Sun, Aquarius, Gemini rising, and Moon. Ooh, we're close to a matching 3, but that Sun, Aquarius, that eliminates you from the whatever the hell this is, the contest. Yeah, not quite there. How you know that, Sun, Moon? I just know my sign is Aries. Oh, you're an Aries, Taurus cusp. Okay. So in the United States, I have a birth certificate, and I have the exact time on it. And because of the exact time I have, it's easier for me to see my sun, moon, and rising and get a more accurate report. Sometimes in other countries, there isn't an exact time you were born, but you can use an approximation. If you know the hour you were born, you go on to some different astrology websites, and then you can learn your sun, moon, rising, and see a whole chart. And generally speaking, it doesn't cost anything. And it's a really, really good way to get overly anal about every aspect of yourself and just fully dive in and just get caught up in the weird bliss of humanity and how strange we get. I had another thing too. I had a book. It was about stuff. Let's see. I have literally all 12 signs in my chart. All 12 signs. Okay. Here's something that'll blow your mind. There's a 13th sign of the zodiac. It is the snake Ophiuchus, which is interesting, right? And my niece, I think it's December 7th or December 5th through December 7th, I think is when Ophiuchus is supposed to be active. But a lot of people don't talk about that. And there's also the sign of the whale, which I can't remember what dates those are, but it's not like monthly. So it's not like the other signs. It's like a few days here and there. But I think that one's in March sometime. I have no water in my chart, like at all. It's either I have no water or I have no fire. I had someone look at my chart once, and they said very, very close to Kurt Cobain's chart. And I was thinking, oh, what does that mean? You know, where's this going? I never found out, so that was interesting. Aries is fire. Yes, Aries is fire. So I had that with the Kurt Cobain thing, and then they said they found it weird that I was psychic and spiritual because I didn't have any water. And then they said something along the lines of Virgo is my rising, unless you're talking to someone in the chat, CJ. Then they said that most people that don't have water in their charts, they're either psychopaths or like murderers. And I was thinking, well, only if someone gets me upset. So for me to be psychic but not have any of the water was something that they said was really interesting. And then they had to throw in that jab about the psychopath thing. And like I said, if you get me mad, I'll kill you. And there's a lot of bodies hidden in a lot of places. But as long as you guys are cool, you know, I don't murder for fun anymore. When I was younger, it was like a sport, you know. I miss those days. But here we are. You know, we're here. We're kind of figuring shit out. You mind your own business. Good. Then we don't have any problems, CJ. We don't got any of them issues. But yeah, it gets interesting. The spiritual world is very, very fascinating. And if I can get this channel a little bit bigger as time goes on, I've talked about this. I'm wanting to do like paranormal investigations and like taking you guys with me to different spots and then kind of getting evidence and stuff like that. I've got a lot of plans and ideas, but that's going to be a little bit later on. We got to get the channel up there quite a bit because I think if we did that, I feel like that would really help the channel to, you know, and I would teach you guys how to interact with spirits in a respectful and kind way, and sort of hopefully have some younger audience members to teach them how to work in the field, because there's a lot of stuff that like Ghost Adventures and other things did, and other like ghost shows did, where it's always negative. These spirits are always bad and evil, and then they call them out and they do all this kind of stuff. And so this is something where I feel like we could have kind of a sacred sense of how to initiate investigations, what to do, and how to work with spirits in a way that's not like invasive or calling them out or doing stuff like that, because that doesn't really do anything. It's just humans flexing their ego when they call out a spirit and they do that kind of stuff on camera. It's just makes me uncomfortable. But it's so could be something that we do in the future. And it seems like you guys would be into that. So Yeah, we would start with very small locations at first, though, nothing too big. But yeah. Yeah, what's your question, Pratima? Celebrity energy can be interesting. So when it comes to reading objects, you can absolutely do that. I am not an expert at that, and I cannot even remember what it's called. And I know I've heard the name of it before. I've even done it before. Um, that's going to bother me. Hey, Crystal Carol. Yeah, so you can absolutely read objects. You can read people. You can read situations. Can I finally be a K-pop idol named Lipsa? You absolutely can. And yes, you can read photos. You can if that's something you want to do and you go after it. The cards aren't going to tell me yes or no in that kind of question. Think about it this way, Pratima. Imagine you have a dream of something you want to achieve, and then I sit here and I say, no, it's not possible. If it's something that you want to do and you practice and you put in the dedication and the time that it takes to become that, you can become that. But you have to be willing to do that. So sometimes people have dreams and they will always be just dreams. And sometimes people have dreams, they act on them, and they become a reality. So if you're willing to put in the work, the dedication, and you have the talent for it, I think it's something you could do. But it's going to take time, effort, dedication, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so, yeah. And if you need help with motivation, look into why you would want to do that. Because a lot of people just want fame for, it's been years right now. I'm very invested in determination. I can't imagine living without it. Okay, then you should be good. You should be good. Just keep going with that kind of energy and see what you can do. Okay, can I get a reading if that's fine? Yes, Crystal, you can ask your question, and then Crow's Nest, you'll be next. You're welcome, Crow's Nest. Perfect, Pratima. Perfect. I love it. And keep going with it. Keep going with it. And don't with your dreams and the things that you're wanting to achieve, don't let people like me be able to tell you if you can or you can't. Focus on having it be a reality for you. Okay. If I say yes or no, that shouldn't have any value to you whatsoever. I am a stranger on the internet. I have glasses and 3 cats. That does give me authority in many situations, but not in this one. All right. So keep going, keep doing your stuff. And what was your question, Carol? Oh, there we go. What are some significant events in my future in general, and also in my passions as a musician? Okay, so let's focus on. Let's do significant events, and let's do that one. That's kind of a question that has a lot of little caveats to it. So let's focus on what are some significant events in the future. And let's see what we can come up with here. And I'll look in 1 month kind of a thing. It's a free reading. We'll just do the 1 month kind of a deal. See what we can come up with here. But let's see. So let me shuffle these little cards up. I have definitely been known to shuffle in my day. I was a very good shuffler when I was younger, and the older I get, the better I shuffle. Yeah, sure, whatever floats. I like that. I like that. Whatever floats. All right, let's do it here. So, significant events in your future in general. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see here. It just says yes. Wouldn't that be weird? I'm just like over here being all strange and shit. I would never do that. 8 of Cups in reverse. Then we have the 7 of Wands. Okay, we have the guy that looks like he's from Castaway, and he's being like, you know what? I'm gonna run away. He's getting ready to leave that situation. He's on those stairs. He's almost buck-ass naked. He is not feeling it. And then we have this one here, 9 of Cups. And this card here, I always just see as kind of like Bob Ross. Like, look at that. Look at that face. He's a happy son of a bitch. I'll tell you, that's how I want to be. I just want to be that happy. But I think he's also on some stuff. Okay, don't tell anyone, but he's got an addiction. All right, so 8 of Cups in reverse. You've been putting yourself in a situation where you're getting rid of what no longer serves you. So I view this as kind of like you're doing spring cleaning early. We're getting rid of what no longer serves. All right, and that's something that is always going to be helpful. Get rid of that stuff that doesn't serve you. Cut it off quick. Okay, it's like if a snake bites you, what do? You cut your arm off instantly. You don't even think about it. They grow back. All right, it's not a big deal. All right, then we have 7 of Wands. Okay, this card is defensive energy, and it's working to go backwards. But then we have this card here. Okay, now I can't remember if I drew the 9 of Cups in reverse or not, but it shouldn't matter too much, because I can spin bullshit into a story faster than you guys can imagine. All right, so then we have 9 of Cups, and we have the 7 of Wands. Okay? We no longer feel like we need to be defensive because things... I wrote that snake quote in my diary recently. See, now I definitely don't read your diary, but when I do read it, the snake quote is the one I go to. Chapter, I think it's Matthew 17:53. Yeah. So basically, there's going to be a feeling of not needing to be as defensive in the future because things will be working out in your favor. Just keep on doing whatever it is that you're doing that's putting you in a higher vibrational state, because it feels to me we're cutting off energy and we're making it so that new energies can move in. So always do that. Always get rid of things that no longer serve us, instead of keeping them around thinking, oh, this energy can be useful to me eventually. If something is not serving us, get rid of it. Cut it out. Get that energy gone. I don't know how else to word it. Yeah, I think you guys get it. When the snake bites you, never chase the snake. Focus on getting the poison out. Yes, absolutely. Unless you're playing tag with the snake, and that was its way of like saying you're it. In that situation, you do have to chase the snake and tag it back. I don't make up these rules. It's just kind of how things go. So, but no, that does make sense. Don't chase the poison, the poison noodle that bit you, because that. Yep. Okay. So let's move on here to Crow's Nest. And no, it's not poison noodle. It's a danger noodle. That's what they're called. I remember I studied biology. I was in school. I remember that. Okay. I'm assuming the name's Jess, and Jess says, "What's coming in love for me in the near future? You are a single Leo." All right. And what's fun is that can kind of work together. Single Leo, single Leo, single Leo. I wonder if that's anyone's name. I kind of like it. Your name is Jessica. Okay, perfect. Perfect. How you doing, Jessica? My name is Chance. I have been trapped here for 3 days. But the best thing is I don't have to eat. Don't have to do anything in this little pocket dimension. You guys don't know. You don't know. This is a set. My whole life is made up. I have no idea. Just chilling and nice to meet you and trapped. Yes, I'm trapped. All right. Let's see what we can come up with for Jessica here. Okay. Oh, almost had it. That was interesting. Okay, we got cards on the ground. We're going to see what these cards are, and then I'm going to tell you if they're real or not. They are. I'm going to draw one more. Okay. So we got the Six of Wands in reverse, and we got the Four of Swords. Resting energy, hoping for something to come in. And then I'm going to draw one more card. I've been hoping for long-term commitment, potential, been single 3 years. Meow. I like the meow at the end because that's how I would have said that same sentence. Been single for 3 years, meow. I've been single for 2 years, meow. So I get it. I get it. You're looking for that. So Queen of Wands in reverse. So there could possibly, the way I'm looking at this is it's going to be a little bit longer. Not because you're not trying, but I think just because the universe is kind of needing, I think it's just needing you to be single. That's all I'm saying. No. The Four of Swords is the resting card. That's how I see it. And literally they're resting. They're taking it easy. He's thinking, he's thinking of all sorts of things. There's a bird on a etheric sword. You can't make this shit up. That's how it is. This in reverse, though, to me is also a card of pause because it's Six of Wands in reverse. This looks like someone is being stabbed to death. I can guarantee, though, that they are being stabbed to death upside down. No, Six of Wands is a good card. It does not look good, though, does it? It looks like the person's in agony. But it's a good card. Six of Wands is a good card. But when it's in reverse, it's like things are in a pause, right? Things are taking its time. But let me look at this here. If that's what it needs, and that's what it needs. Absolutely. Like, for instance, every 3 days I have to feed my cats, right? They get so hungry. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you guys can wait. But then we have the Queen of Wands right here. When the Queen of Wands is in reverse like that, again, it's that kind of energy where it's just taking its time. And there could possibly be a fire sign that comes in, but it won't quite be what you're looking for. And I was almost seeing it like maybe not necessarily a circus performer. I don't know why I was seeing something like that, but it could be someone that's just clowning around. They're not serious about it. In the business, we call them tire kickers. They're people that go in and they kick tires. That's it. That's what they do. No, it's a saying that's used for wasting time, and I'm explaining it to you because it's an old saying. I'm not old. But if I have to say I'm not old, okay. So anyway, so every 3 days you feed your cats, and once a month you change their litter box, and usually, they're pretty happy. They're easy going. However, they do not change my litter box. I'm trying to say, you know what, guys, help me out here. They're very not that way. It's best to stay single until you find the best match for you. Everything else is a waste of time. I agree. It is best to stay single until you find something that's good. But then you get into a situation where it's like, okay, I'm single. It's been, 2-3 years. And eventually you're thinking, you're looking at that person, it could be a waste of time. And you're like, you know what? It's not a bad way to waste time. Just saying. Eventually you start getting to that point where you'll start talking to the scams on dating websites, and you'll be like, you know what? If I die, I die. At least I'm trying here. They can only harvest your organs once. Remember that. Yeah, because it gets lonely. Yep, it does. It gets lonely. And you can only tell your cats so much how lonely you are before. Eventually when they start talking back and you can understand them, the loneliness has gotten to that level. Friends with benefits can work if both people are mature. It could, yeah. I mean, if that's what both people are wanting, I don't see anything wrong with it. But it's, it has to be, like you said, maturity has to be there too. You are very welcome, Jessica. I'm going to call you Jessica, which isn't necessarily wrong, but it's a weird way to say Jessica. Okay. Good evening. I would like a love reading. Please, currently single. Okay, let's see what we can do here. The walls have ears for me. I think I know what you mean. I think I know. I painted over the ears, so they don't hear as well as they used to. All right, so I'll go straight to you, Minnie Mouse here. I'm thinking we'll do this. Remember to like the reading if you guys are liking the video. And I'm going to do this reading here, and then I might be done for the night, just because it's been about an hour and a half. I feel like we've done some stuff here. Do I know anything about my past life? Not on purpose, but on accident, no. My past life, I don't know. I believe in that stuff. I think there can be value to it, but I don't know anything about my past life, and I don't really, in my opinion, for me, I don't think it's important for me to know, because I feel like I'm dealing more with things that have happened in this life still. Once I deal with the trauma I've been given in this life to an extent, then I feel like I can go to the past life stuff. But I didn't have an easy upbringing and stuff like that. I do think there's a lot of stuff that can be held in the past life, but still working on my stuff here. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to do stuff here and then go back there and see what's going on. You like the background, the mountains. Yes. These right here, if you try to climb up them, you'll slide down. I have been told that this is an actual wall behind me, but that won't stop me. I will get to the top one day. One day. You guys will see. I haven't heard or experienced seeing numbers, neon on the wall. I've heard of some experiences like that involve scientists in a pyramid, but not anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to do Minnie Mouse, love reading for Minnie Mouse, currently single. You saw something, but you'll keep it to yourself if you don't want to know anything. If you feel like you saw something, like maybe I was a gangster in a past life, and I don't know, stabbed a bunch of people. We're all murderers here, so I think that's okay. You can tell me if you want to. I'm hoping I was a cool person. I think I can be. In a past life. I think I could be a cool guy. Okay. So for Minnie Mouse, I was just making sure that was the right name. We get the Magician in reverse. We get the Three of Wands in reverse. And we get the Two of Wands in reverse. Okay. So this energy, all of the cards are reverse. So I'm going to say probably some more healing needs to be done. And I'm sorry if you feel like you've been doing a lot of healing and it's like I still need to do more. If I'm seeing this right here, there could have been someone in the past that really threw us for a loop or a sense of confusion around a certain topic. But the Magician in reverse, it can be very like manipulative energy that we're dealing with or trying to get away from, or we are away from it and now we're healing. But these two being in reverse to me is saying that there's still very much a pull on energy that's making it so that new love can't quite come in yet. Doesn't mean it won't be there eventually, but for now it feels like there's kind of something blocking it. Possibly a fire sign as well, because these two are there and they're sequential. It's Two of Wands in reverse and Three of Wands in reverse. So that's something that I'm seeing there. There could possibly be either a fire sign that's blocking you, or there could be something that's like a fire sign that's coming in to maybe help in the situation. I Live chat, remember to see here. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, so the neon stuff is interesting. So I'm not really sure on what that could be. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But with that being said, you guys, I do believe I'm going to take off. And thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Remember to like the video if you haven't already. And I'll be back on again tomorrow, and we'll do some more stuff, okay? So everyone take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow. You too, Cantonese. Have a great evening. And everyone else watching, have a great evening. Petra, CJ Brooks, whoever else is here. Have a good one. Okay, see you guys.